Hey, so this is my chart, and you will see that it's quite precise. And and yes, so Bitcoin. Look, I do the tops from the peaks to the next tops, and the crash is when the crash is from the bottoms. Like I do these trend lines. So the top was from this one with this one, gave the in terms of trend lines, gave the drop. And if you put this one here with that one, also gave the drop. And this one, if you adjust it, this is just trend lines, not horizontals. If you use this point with this point, gave this pump here, okay? So this is trend lines. And remember this one, this is the one I'm waiting for the investment area. Will be this area here. From here and below. I don't know how deep we can go. I don't know how high we can go. So, but we have these areas and the moving app, this is the 100 waiting here for the future. I don't know when. And of course it will keep on moving. And the 200 will appear in 2 years, I think. It will appear here on the bottom. Okay, so this is the investment area. Remember this trend line? When we broke up here, this candle didn't come to test it as support. So this is how I make my investments and swing trades. Remember before, if I pull this one down, remember, here, resistance, third point, gave the drop, and then we crashed. And here on the weekly, we did 2 points and gave the buy here. On this week was this trend line here. But remember here, with this candle, when we closed above this trend line, that was resistance. Look, 2 months holding it as support, and we got the bull run. And with this candle, we went up, straight up, and we range here. We created this range that we can still go higher if we keep doing the higher lows, or we can crash, range, be here for like a few months, putting also people to buy, but we never managed to pass this area, and we can crash, okay? And if we crash, we will stop. We still have this area to stop, the 19, it's the 20K top. You'll see that is parallel with this monthly close. We have this one here, which is aligned with the 14K, these two candles close. These were the weeks, and this monthly close. And then we have this one that we didn't test as support when we went up. And this area here, we didn't test as support when we got up, like the 7K, 6 to 7K, but I don't know if we managed to go so low. Remember, we have also this trend line, 1 point, 2 points, and is going up for the future. This is an investment area line that you can use. Maybe look, if both touch, no, not here, because now I'm putting this one up. So my trick is now I have this trend line that was previous support, like we were here. And when we come down, this will act as support. And maybe here in 2023, or 2 years in the future, maybe we can come to these levels. Nobody knows when, but remember this trend line for the future when we get big crashes. Indicator RSI on the monthly, the lows are here on the 44.5, but we don't know if we can go to the 30s. Remember, we are living extreme times, everything pushing up and everything pushing down, like very magnified and with extremes. So now horizontals on the monthly. Remember, we went always up, 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 up. Even the weeks, the selling weeks started here. Look, and then we got this small one. But remember, I do these trend lines, these horizontals on the monthly closes, like here, like here. Look, here you got the low, but coming back before, I do on the weeks and on the monthly close. Look at this yellow line that I draw here. And when we got the first green, red candle, look where we closed. We went up and then settled down and up, and we closed red below that yellow line. And when we opened the month, we go up a little bit and we crashed. And I short the market from here because everyone was saying that we go to the moon. I did the opposite, and I shorted the market until the 35K, more or less. And then I closed it, and I didn't short from here, but it was very easy. See, the same line, now that this one was bullish because we closed above, but we got into that trend line, and it was the third point, and we consolidate because we had to consolidate sooner or later. And now, and then this candle here, the same thing. We close below this yellow line. Look, we close below. When we opened the month, we went up a tiny little bit and we crashed. Or this is not a crash. This is just consolidation. So we came down exactly from the line. And look at this one on the week as well, this yellow line of resistance. We touched it a little bit on the top, so that's why we went up from here. We hold as support here, and now we came down. We tested it mathematically, look. And we bounced. The thing is now that we are consolidating, and we have also these moving averages here, that we are here, but if we don't pass, we don't start closing above this area or these two candles close, we cannot push higher. So I think we are just ranging here. This will be resistance, this area will be resistance, and the weekly and these weeks will be resistance. Okay, for now, the support is on these two candles to make the higher low on the monthly to try to push higher. The thing is to understand if the next month we will have a candle like this to push higher, or if we don't pass resistance, like around this 54, or here this week, the 52.4, we come down and then we range and we make a lower high here compared with this area, will turn into big resistance, and then we will have this support on the moving averages. See, because here we didn't touch the moving average, but here, remember, or we do something like this, we go up, not passing the top and we crash, or we hold the lines here, but here we are on top of the tree, you know? When we are above these 12, 21, and 20, we are in a bull run. So for now, we are still in a bull run on the monthly. So as long as we don't close below these two moving average, we can still be ranging. But let's see if this was a double top with a fake out and we crash from here, or we still have another push higher. So nobody knows, that's the thing. This is areas to buy for swing trade. This will be areas to buy a swing trade, but you need to take profits and put stop losses. Remember, for future crashes, we have all these areas below. And this just with the monthly, as you see, it's quite precise. If you do this, and then the support will be on this one now, on the 33.7 more or less. As long as we don't close below this range, look at these three candles and this candle close, all of them touching this area, closing above this one and pushing higher. And then when we were here, this red one came to test the top of this one. If you look, so everything only with the monthly, so it's a patience game. Where is it? Wait. No, I'm doing something wrong here. Not this one. So this is, remember, when we close, this is a bullish candle, and we had this area support. Look, this candle, the top of this candle. This one, when we open, we came down, test this one as support, and we push higher, and then consolidate and push higher. And now we are coming down to try to make a higher low, compare with this area to try to push higher on the monthly. So let's see how we close the month if this one keeps coming down in the next 2 weeks, or if we hold here and maybe the next month we can try to go higher. We just don't know if we push higher or we come down to this area and we come below. So it's important these 2 weeks to understand. And yeah, so, and now, and then of course, remember, all these candle closes are important for the future. Only with the monthly, remember. Also, this area was not tested as support because this candle here didn't touch it. So this is very important for technicals and for algorithms, because this one touched the wick but didn't touch. So remember, also align with this area here. But moving average move, and this trend line is stuck, and we have the horizontals that you can draw. I didn't draw, but it's basically this area here, this area here, and of course this and this one here, okay? These are aligned with the previous peak, so, but it's just for you to understand. If the market crashes and you see the buys on this range, it's very important to make a bid or start bidding or use the stop losses, of course. And now I go to the weekly, and this is where we are on this range, on the weekly. Look, we are still in a positive slope, I think, but on the 50 here, but if we close below, we can come down. So we are still trying to survive. Let's see if we survive. And the line is this, look at the weekly. The same, we tried to close above, crashed. This was the range on the weekly that I draw on the monthly, but you see that it works also on the weekly. And we did the higher lows. Even with this one, we try to go lower, but the bulls defend, make a bullish engulfing, and we push higher. And you see that the trend line that comes from here, when we did this point here, you made that point, and also I think that one. But anyway, this was a support line that we broke with this candle now, and this was the same as the monthly. Look, when we went above on that trend line from the monthly that you can adjust here, like here. This was the bearish retest for a breakdown, but we didn't need to sell there. When we did this one here, this was the confirmation that we didn't manage to go up, and then we crashed. So even with the weekly made on the monthly, you see that everything aligns. And now, if I take all these lines, we are ranging. This is the 21 and the 20 pushing the price down. So we are in a bull market when we are above these two lines. So we need to close the weekly above here to try to push higher. We managed to close the weekly 50 minutes ago green. It was the previous days were red. If we closed below, we were already red coming down. But because we made it green, one more week to this side, if we manage to close above the previous candle and above these moving averages, and we still need to close above this range, which is the big resistance. It's here on this one, but we have these moving averages. This will be big resistance here. These two candles on the weekly and the weeks, and this candle close. And we didn't test it as resistance. So the 55, we still can go to 55, or we don't manage to pass here and we come below maybe to the 30s to try to make another higher low here, like we did here. And then let's see if the bulls defend to push higher with a green candle around this area. And if they defend to try to push higher, we don't know until when, or we just make another lower high and then we crash. But it's good trades to be made if you are patient. So we are holding the 50 moving average, and resistance is the 21 and the 20, and the 12 a little bit above, plus, the trend lines that you also can draw on the daily and on the weekly. These two trend lines you can draw from this week, and actually we did work as resistance here, but the bulls defended, and we still have this one that used these 2 points that we didn't test. So we can still go higher to the 12, to this trend line, to try to push higher, put everyone thinking that we go to the moon, and we crash. Or if we start to close above this yellow line, we can still go to 70, 80K. And this is my top, but if we close above, we can still go higher. So we are in the indecision area at the moment. Closes below here with a monthly candle. We will come to here, here, here. And then if we don't manage to close, we can even come down to the 200s on the weekly, or my trend line, because we can come below the 200s. and then the bulls will defend, I think. But remember, RSI investment, it's when we touch the 30s or these low areas, and we never touch, look at where we are. So we need to touch 30 or even below, or this one here, for a big bounce. This is the investment areas for here. These are investments and swing trades, and trades, of course. But here, remember, this needs to hold to push higher. Stop losses will be below here. Remember, there's a big liquidity here with stop losses. So if they got caught, the price will keep on coming down maybe to this area that we didn't touch, like with this candle as support. And this 33 area, it's the area of value, 33 to 36. And maybe the same happens, put everyone thinking that we go down and the bulls defend and we push higher. So be prepared for everything at the moment. But remember, the monthly, and of course the weekly responds to the monthly. Look, and we are just ranging, trying to decide. Big resistance and some support here. But it's a matter of patience until we go down. Okay, stock market the same. The QQQ, the tech one, has been defending. Look, when we did a bullish engulfing with this one, so, but we hold the moving average, see? So as long as we hold the 12, the 21, it's fine, and the bulls defended. And they defended this top, see? We closed above, pushed higher, and let's see if we go there. And then it's a big trend line, big resistance here, and then maybe we crash. But if we don't pass this top here, but I think we will pass and go there. Many people shorting, they get a short squeeze. And we might get another push up on the S&P 500. But it's quite precise. As long as we hold, see the moving averages, it's a buy. A look at the buys. Trying to come below and the bulls defending, and we push higher. Bulls defending. So you can buy until here. Stop losses will be below. And it's always the same. And this is big resistance that worked as resistance, but we never crashed. And now this one on the top, it's a big confluence from the one I'll put on the monthly so you see. Look, the one that comes from here was that worked as resistance. We will test it once again or soon. We didn't touch it, see? So this is where we are going, and from there I think we will crash. And then we have the moving average again to see if the price holds, or we have something like this, and we have all these areas, and the stock market can come until this trend line. There's many areas, or the 200s. We can have a huge crash for the future. Remember, nothing can go up forever like this, and we are already overextended. NASDAQ also giving signs. So use the monthly. Look, NASDAQ, we got, look at the tops here, and this will be support. When we closed above, we push higher, but look at the moving averages, also the same. And when we closed below, we came here for the COVID, we bounced, and we are above this one. And now we are facing resistance soon as well, because we got that red one. We are going above to this yellow one, that it's from here. But I think this will be the tops, and we will come down to here. And then if we close below here, if we close below the moving average and they don't hold, and we range like here, we have this area that we didn't touch as support, which is aligned with the 50. It's a matter of patience. And if we close below, we have all these areas for a big recession, for a huge crash for the future, that many analysts are speaking, that we will go quite deep on the stock market, because if you look at this is just nuts, going up forever. And we need to do something like this, you know, look, and then correct. But even here, we did a higher lows here, and we got a bull run. Even if we come to this top, we can then push higher. So be prepared for everything for the stock market, because we are really toppy, and it's a matter of patience until we come down to test resistance. We are on this one, we are above this support, see? Trend line here, we close above, and we are holding support to push higher. But as soon as we close below, we can have a massive crash to here, or even to this one below. and still do a higher low compared with this one. So be prepared for everything, but so for trades, and look at this, how precise it is with the monthly chart, and then of course with the moving averages, okay? So Bitcoin, stock market, everything correlated, and yeah, so you can do good trades if you do the monthly. You just use the monthly lines with all the closes and use the trend lines from the dots. Look something like this. And that one from this one. This is Coinbase. So you see there's another one that was drawn from here that gave, look, with this resistance and gave the crash. So this will be resistance again. This one. Look, touch there, and then we close. And now we will go there to test it as resistance to these areas. But if we don't hold, we come down here, and then it's a matter of patience, as I said, to come to the lower areas. Okay? Bitcoin has big volatility. As long as we hold this is fine. As long as we hold this is fine. If we don't hold this, we come to this one to try another higher low here. But we'll be already big resistance above, and then it's a matter of patience. Next month, 1 year, 2 years, we will come down to these very low areas, or even below. Nobody knows. Be prepared. All right? I think this will help. This will help you a lot with the horizontal lines on the monthly, trend lines on the previous crashes. Remember 2 dots, and then the algorithms will come sooner or later for the third touch for a bounce. Always like this, gave the top here. If I do this trend line with that top, gave with these 2, gave the drop. This will be resistance, and we have big resistance now. And we can even push this one down to the week, like here. And this will be also resistance from this week. But this, it's like a area, so you can just do like this. But you can do from here. But you can also do from here with the month. So it's a range that you need to understand when we are there on the daily and on the 4 hours and on weekly, what the price will do. For me, we are toppy, very toppy, because the market is very bullish still. Everyone's still trying to buy. Many people still asking me, so we have to get a big liquidation and the stock market as well. Okay? So a bit of like Binance, Solana, all the other ones. I'm doing this Porto, but look at the moving averages. Look at these ones waiting as well. We close above. We will have to come down to test this trend line as support on Solana. So we will come down at least to these areas. But if we close below, I think we will come to this one here, to this moving average, and then reassess, because this will turn into big resistance. And sometime in the future, remember, when we got this with no test as support, we can have a big crash. So remember, but Binance is very strong because they have Binance and making loads of money. If this holds, it's a area of buy. Stop losses will be below this range here, and you just make bids to see if we keep on pushing higher. I can tell you I bought Binance around $4. I bought it even before it was on 2018 and 19. So it was like here on $4. I sold almost everything now around here on the 530. I still have bids like to sell if we go to 700, 1,000. I have from what I got here, I'm having a few bids to sell, take profits there. And then I will try to buy again in this range or this range or this range again for the future. So Solana, you can use the monthly because it works very well. And this will be an area of value. This will be an area of value. And then only here, remember. So we are here. If we don't close below this area to push, and then we can do a trend line 2 points. This will be the resistance on the monthly. And here on the week, we got the first red one two candles not closing above with selling wicks coming below. We have all this range, look, all the candles buying, 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 and we push higher. But we didn't manage to make a bull flag here to push higher, so this is not good because all this move that we went up, we are already in doing support here, see? It's holding support from this area, but this is very bad because when you got a bullish one like this and all the move comes down, now if we go up, this will be big resistance, and then we have this moving average to see if this holds. If this doesn't hold and Bitcoin crashes, look at this trend line. 1 point, 2 points here. So this trend line, which will be alongside this area, it's on the 27 cents going up, of course, but will be this area, this range here will be an area of value. This range will be an area of value. And this range here will be an area of value. So be prepared for everything, because everything that goes high so high can come back down to the meme and to the crime of the scene. So, but you see that, look at, we got the support here and we got the bull run. And it's very precise on the monthly if you understand how to where the candles close. Look at this one, was resistance. Here we came to test it as support. And then this one with the wick. So we start to do the higher lows above the moving averages. Remember the moving averages to push the price higher and the higher lows and the bull volume coming. Okay? Very easy to understand. Cardano, it's perfect to understand the monthly chart and the trend lines. Of course, you can also do one like this. And we can have a bounce. Remember, we don't know if we go higher. This will be the bounce from these areas here. But let's see if we manage to close above this one. Because this is big resistance. And we can do something like this, go up, test it a second time, and then back down here. And then maybe we don't pass here and have a big crash to these areas or even below. Look at RSI. Investment is on the lows. We are already doing this bearish divergence, pushing down the price. Support will be here on the 50. So it will try to hold this as support to see if we push higher. But for me, this is for me as an investment. So you can use this, even SHIB, you know. Everything is on Doge. We close below, resistance, resistance, and you can do a trend line here. We are trying to hold this one, which not even a monthly. This was made, this yellow one was made on the weekly. So I can even take it down. It was made on that week and we are already below. So remember, all these meme coins, it's a matter of time. They will come to this area or below here, stay a few weeks or a few months trying to make a consolidation, and then they can pump again. For now, forget them, you know. I don't believe we go there, but we never know. Doge the same. Look what we did. Everyone thinking that we go to $1, look at the price. People don't understand to read charts. Look at the trend line here. And now 1 point, 2 points, we bounce from this one. If we hold here, we can have a big bounce back to this area. Because we got a big buy, and maybe we do something like this, look, and then we come down to test the low. If we come down and do a higher low or a double bottom, we can have a big move up and make big profits. So Doge, it's very algorithmic, and I put the weekly for you to understand. Look, so easy. Resistance, 1 point, 2 points, we crashed mathematically from there, and now we created a new range with this low and this low. We are trying to hold, see, indecision candle on the weekly, but red. So this one should come here, here, or even low. And maybe we do, then we come to test another low here. Let's see if we have enough strength to come here, or at least to here, and it's still big profits. So only with the monthly. This is the weekly, and we close below, see? We close below, and we are below this area. So the probability is to go at least to here, here, or even down here. But Remember, even if we hold here, this area on this week, like here, imagine if we hold here and we push higher and we come to test this one, it's 50% profits. We can come even here, you know, and here it's 100% profits. So remember, use these to put stop losses below. If we come down here, start to leave bids, and it needs to hold, and then hopefully do something like this, and then we get a move up. So we are in this range. Send, see, big bearish one, indecision, trying to push higher, so we can still try to go up, but look, we have the moving average is here waiting, and you use the monthly, you know, the same thing, like here, 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 here. In the future, look at this, 1 point, 2 points. This is the area of value when Bitcoin crashes. You need to wait to have buys on these trend lines or here in this range. See, we went up without testing as support. This will be the range for the future. Closes below this trend line, we will come to here. This one was tested as support. This one was not tested as support. So we are in this range, and also the top, 1 point, 2 points, crashed. We are still trying to go there again, but maybe we don't do it, because if you do a trend line, we can do something like this. Only if we close above the trend line. See, we do this trend line, this will be resistance. Closes above, we can go to this trend line, closes below, we go to these moving averages. This will act as resistance, then this will be resistance. Remember, this is an area of value, closes below, area of value. This worked as support here, see? Range, many months, or a couple of months. We close above, look, 2 weeks, holding support from this range and push higher. This one worked as support this week, here, with this area hold as support. This one holded as support, this one didn't hold, this one holds, and then we have this area. Here we didn't come to touch the support, which will be here.